Hi, I'm Jenna, and this is episode 111. It's been a crazy week this week, and I don't think it'll be a very long show. But I do have some things to show you, and a quick mention of the knit-along. Today is the 26th of March, 2014, so you have 5 more days to get your Marches for M knit-along project in. Not too late. You can whip up a toy in 5 days. So we're doing the Moon Dance Shawl, Mario the Artistic Rabbit, Maggie the Mama Owl, and Molly the Traveling Turtle. So, lots of great entries. So excited to see finished objects. Lots of bunny rabbits. So, that's always fun. Perfect for Easter. So, not sure that we're doing an April knit-along. Everything has been so crazy, and I haven't even thought that far ahead into the future. We just might skip April and do one in May. So, I have no finished objects this week, but I do have a hoe. So, I got one of my Stitch Surfer socks finished. It's not a hard pattern. For some reason, I have the second one started, and I could not figure out how I started the first, the toe of the first one, and I think I did it wrong. But it's okay, it worked out. So I have one done. So this is the top of the sock. And the heel. I haven't woven in my ends yet. Not that far into the finishing. I pretty much bound it off and was like, that's done. But then I'm like, I now know why I always knit socks. Like, first off, why I knit them top down. So like top down 100 times better than I like toe up. And I always do like the cuff of one, the cuff of the other. Go back and forth and back and forth. That way I finish the socks at about the same time. Because I finished this and I did not want to cast on the second one at all. So I did the bind off that the pattern calls for. I don't like it. I feel it looks sloppy. I don't know that you can really see it. But not real thrilled with the bind off. It is really stretchy. The sock fits well, except that the heel isn't deep enough. I've never done a heel like this before, so I wasn't sure how I could modify it to fit better. My only thought would be is I could do an afterthought heel. Just skip putting in the heel and then going back. Not 100% sure how that would work with the pattern, but it's the only thing I could think of. But honestly, I will never, after the other one is this, I will never make another pair of these again. I guess I am just a plain vanilla sock knitter. That's what I like. I like them simple, plain. I don't want to have to think and count. I just want to knit. So, but it was a good experience. I tried something new. This is for my Eat, Sleep, Knit Yarnathon first quarter challenge. So I have to finish the other one no later than March 31st to get my bonus 1,000-yard thing towards my total. Because I really want that. I'm like, I've spent enough money on getting as far as I am. I want that bonus. And I bought the sock yarn specifically for this project to do the first quarter challenge. So if I don't get it done, it kind of seems like a waste to me, right? Like, I spent the money. I pretty much knit, I knit over halfway at this point. And then not to finish, it would just seem like a waste. I mean, I'd have a pair of socks, but I wouldn't have made these socks if it weren't for the challenge. So anyway, so I got the toe done on sock 2. So now it's a free pattern on Knitty. I cannot remember who the designer is, but it's called Stitch Surfers. The yarn is Claudia Hand Paints. The semi-solid is turquoise, and the variegated is World Peas, like the vegetable. And I love it. I love the colors together. I think it's really, really fun. The turquoise definitely brings out more of the blue. I almost went with a mossy green that would have matched, but I was afraid the blue wouldn't then stand out. So could have went either way, but the blue kind of makes the green look a bit more brown in person. I don't know how the camera is picking that up, but I mean, I love the yarn. The yarn has been wonderful to knit with. It's very squishy and soft, and I'll wear them. I just don't know how much. I do worry about the seam on the sole of the foot here. I don't know. I'll give it a try, and if not, they'll just sit in my sock drawer. The other work in progress that I made, I guess I made a good deal of progress on, is my tea with jam and bread. The pattern is by Heidi Kermeyer, and the yarn is Cascade 220, just 220, regular 220, not superwash. I almost said superwash. So I did finish the body. Last week I think I was just starting the gray, so I finished up the gray, stripe at the bottom, did the ribbing, and bound off. So I tried it on. It fits lovely. It has a little bit of positive ease. So it'll be comfy, but it's not too oversized, which is good. So the top is, I have the numbers, because some people are like, I want to know the numbers. Because the names are not on the tags. It's kind of funny because anywhere online I have ordered Cascade from, which is mainly Webs and Jimmy Bean's Wool, it gives the name and the number, but on the tag it just has the number. And on Cascade's website it has the name and the number. So I'm not making this stuff up. Okay, so the gray is 8400, also known as charcoal. And then the teal is 2433. It is a Cascade 220 Heather, and it is called Pacific. It's called Pacific. And then the gold color at the bottom is color number 4010, also known as straw. So all that's left is the sleeves, and I kind of set it down since I am knitting along with one of the girls from the knit shop. So I thought, well, that gives her plenty of time to catch up, and gives me plenty of time to work on other things that I absolutely have to get done. So lovely pattern, well written. I did opt not to put on the pockets, and I'm glad I didn't put them on there. I think it just would have been a little bulky in the hip area for me, and that is not where I need any bulk. So glad I skipped the pockets. I'm also getting a little concerned about my yardage for the sleeves. So I guess it kind of gives me a little bit of peace of mind that I hopefully will have enough, because the pockets would have needed extra yarn, and I think it'll work out well. So then, after I set down my tea with jam and bread, I picked up my Monomania a little. So not too much done since last week. Oh, I didn't realize I was actually kind of in. I had started a row. Anyways, I was about halfway done with this gray stripe, and then I just started, you can kind of see at the top there, another of the dark blue stripe. So this is the Monomania. It's a cardigan sweater. You can see here where it opens. Like I said, I'm partially in a row. I haven't picked it up since last Saturday, so it's been a few days. The pattern is by Ann Weaver, and then the yarn is Madeline Tosh Merino Light, also known as TML. The light gray is Smokestack. The darker bluish color, it's more blue than teal. The darker blue is Baltic, the green is Grasshopper, and the aqua is Window Pane, which unfortunately is now a discontinued color. It's a shame, because I think this was one of my all-time favorite Madeline Tosh colors, so it makes me sad they got rid of it. but I'm loving the colors together. I'm hoping they won't bleed real bad. When I do wash it to block it, I will put a color catcher in with it, because I just worry about that Baltic a little. Just a wee bit. Because I don't want it to bleed, because I am loving it. I think it will be one of my favorites when it's finished. So not a whole lot of love on that this week. Just a little bit. And then last but not least, I am working on a shop sample for my LYS. Let's see, this is Meadow something. Meadow Green Meadow. It is a wool bamboo blend. So it's super soft. It feels like it'll be super drapey. The pattern is called the Wisp Shoulder Shawl. It is not on Ravelry. I don't know where she got the pattern from. It was online, and she said it was a free pattern. And there's a shop sample in the shop, and I believe it's a discontinued yarn now. So she wants another one. And so I've gotten this far. I kind of worry because the pattern calls for a lace weight yarn, and she gave me, it's a fingering weight. It's a light fingering weight, but it was 150 gram skein. So this is definitely not going to be as big as the one that's in the shop now. I also used the same size needles that's on a size 4 needle that the pattern called for, because I'm just thinking, well, if someone wants to make the, sees the shop sample and they buy the pattern, or get the pattern's free. I think she hands it out with the purchase of yarn. So she hands out the pattern, and she hands out, and the person buys the shawl, you're going to get it home, you're going to see, oh, it calls for a size 4 needle, and that's what you're going to cast on with. So I was afraid if I used a different size needle, someone would get it home and be like, this wasn't enough yarn, or this isn't working for me. So I might wait, kind of put this on hold until I can get back into the shop this weekend and talk to her about it. Because it's just like a triangle shawl. It's more of like a shawlette. And it has a ruffle. So she wants this in the shawl. And I think she said to hold this with this double. So this is a Kid Mohair. It was a company I wasn't familiar with. I should have brought the ball bands. My apologies. There's no way I'll finish it by the weekend. So you'll see it next week. Anyway, so it's a Kid Mohair, and it's like a lace weight, but it has tiny little sequins in it that are colors. It kind of, if you look at it, it reminds you with like cupcake frosting with sprinkles. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Now you can see them. It's super cute. I don't think there's going to be enough to hold them together. Now, the ball band recommended using a needle size of 4 to 6 with this, so I'm thinking, if I get her okay, because I want to make it the way she wants it, it's her shop, to use just this for the main part of the shawl and just this for the ruffle, because I think holding it double will be too much. So we'll see. That's kind of up in the air. So, because I have this to make, she wants a Miss Winkle for the shop, and then she also wants a Light Waves, which I showed last week and had finished. So I think I'm just going to give her my Light Waves and make another one for myself at some point, because I don't know that I will have the time to knit another Light Waves so soon, and I don't want to make her wait for it. She gave me the yarn for it, so I'll just give her mine, and it's the same yarn, so I'll just make myself one at another point in time. So that's it for works in progress. I mean, 4, right? That's plenty. Like I said, the tea with jam and bread's probably going to go on timeout until the girl I'm knitting it with catches up, and then we'll do the sleeves together, because someday it'll warm up. We did get an inch and a half of snow yesterday. Like, it's late March, come on. So that's it for the knitting. I have no yarny goodness to show except this. I also got the yarn for the Ms. Winkle, but I'll show you that later. But it's not mine to keep. I make a shop sample of it and off it goes. I usually give back the extras unless if it's something for a toy, then she'll let me keep it. And as new patterns come out or as I have time, I make extra toys for the shop side of it. But I have no yarn and goodness. I have no tools for the trade. It's been a rough week. So, like I said, it's probably going to be short. So, if you only stick around for the knitting, this is where, I leave you now. So I will see you next week, and I hopefully will have a lot more to share with you. So if you are sticking around, we are moving into a slice of life. What a week. I talked last week, my grandma had been very ill, and she did pass away on Friday. You know, I mean, it's hard, right? She was my gram. She was my other mother. She was so important. I mean, she was more than just a grandma. And it has been a rough week. So I didn't know what all I was going to talk about, and I'm really just kind of flying by the seat of my pants. But my husband had lost his job Thursday. So that kind of was a big blow. And then Grandma passed Friday. Even bigger blow. So it's been a rough week. It's been a very rough week in my house. And due to my husband losing his job, I have pulled out of TNNA. I was really, really super excited about going and thought it would be a great opportunity for me. And I just cannot justify the cost. I had paid for my classes, which I am getting a reimbursement minus $25 as a fee. But that's fine. I mean, that's much better than not getting anything back, which I was prepared that they might be like, oh, it's non-refundable, which I think they said like after April 6th or something like that, it's non-refundable. But so that's coming back to me because even if something happens and my husband gets a job right away, I just, at this point, cannot justify it. I am still going to Zombie Knit Apocalypse because the plane ticket was already bought. I am now rooming with somebody, thank goodness, because it totally saved my butt with all of it. So I'm still planning on going, having a great time. That's June. It's far enough down the road where I think by then everything will be okay, and just looking, and I'm looking forward to seeing all my friends that I've made and meeting new friends. And I mean, of course, that's a wonderful opportunity for me to show off my designs, and I'm teaching a class, and it just seemed, if I had to pick between the two, doing Zombie Knit Apocalypse would have been the one I picked anyways, but considering that I have already bought a plane ticket for that, that would be a huge loss, because TNNA is in Indianapolis this year, and we were driving. So I was riding along. So, so it makes me sad, but I know I have to do what's right for my family. My family comes first. That's beginning of May, so it was like 6 weeks before Zombie Knit Apocalypse. So that 6 weeks makes a difference. But everything's gonna be okay, right? Like I freaked out at first, but I've made peace with it because I had to. Just like losing my grandma, I'm still devastated and heartbroken. So the funeral was yesterday. I did the eulogy. I was kind of terrified when I was asked, but I thought, well, it's the last thing I get to do for her. So I want to do it, and I want to do it well. And it went really well, and everyone was like, oh, you hit all the points of things I remember about her, and that made me feel good. So, so then it was kind of, it's nice and yet sad that it brought everyone together. Like there's like 20 some grandkids, and it's like we were all there. It's the first time we've all been together, I think, since Christmas. And usually Christmas is the only time of year we all get together. unfortunately, though, they had a luncheon afterwards, which was fun. Everyone was together. But let's face it, it was at a private club, not like a dance club, like a, a members only kind of club type thing. And it had a bar. So the oldest, we figured out, the oldest from each of my grandmother's, so my grandma had 6 kids, and then all of their kids, all of us oldest were the only one old enough to drink. So like, there was 5 of us, because the oldest of one of them is not old enough yet. She's still a little kid. So the 5 of us that were old enough, we went and sat at the bar and we're doing tequila shots, and I've paid for it immensely. I'm like, I'm too old for this now. I'm like, some of them are college kids and whatnot, and I'm like, oi, feeling old. So, whatever. It was fun that we, got to be together, and as the oldest, we are the closest, probably out of all of them, and, so, we had a good time. The food was great. There was lots of crying at some point, and it was a crazy day, and I'm so glad it's over, right? Like, it's like, okay, today I got up, kind of feeling like crap, had stomach ache, but it's a new day, and it's moving on, and I feel so hopeful, and totally food-wise, because I know a lot of people watch Slice of Life due to the weight loss and the food. This last week, I've eaten whatever I wanted. I've drank whatever I wanted. There's been lots of wine in the house. Because normally, like with Weight Watchers, it's a point an ounce for beer and wine, and I don't know how many points for liquor, because we don't normally buy it. So yeah, I drank wine with meals and after the kids go to bed and whatever, and I didn't care. Like, I have tracked nothing. I didn't weigh in this week. Yesterday was my weigh-in day, and I'm like, you know what? Not even gonna bother this week because I know it's gonna be bad. And I know I have a perfectly good excuse of why it would be bad, and I'm not going to torture myself with it. It is what it is. I will weigh in next week and let the chips fall where they are and pick myself back up and move into whatever direction. So, I'm not worried about it. I don't think... I think, I guess, when you have a tragedy, when there's something, you just kind of got to deal with it in the moment and then move past it, right? Like, I know I ate what I shouldn't have and I drank what I shouldn't have, and, I definitely didn't drink enough water this past week. I think it was pretty much like coffee to, like, get through it all during the day, and, Starbucks, which has been out of my menu for most of the last year. So I know I'll pay for it, and I'm okay with that. I'm not going to get on the scale and be like, oh my god. Whatever, right? So back on the wagon today, started tracking my food today, drinking my water. And as much as I love my husband, he's driving me nuts already. He's throwing off my daily routine. So, that's been my crazy week. So if you stuck through this episode this far, I appreciate it. Because I feel like a hot mess. And, like today I was like, I'm not putting in contacts. My hair's all flat. And I'm like, oh well. It's been one of those weeks. We've all been there, right? So, thank you for letting me, share with all of you all the messages I've gotten, the Instagram, because it's not the best flattering picture I put of my gram on Instagram, but it's the only one where I had her and I, like, we're hugging, right, and I'm like, that's my gram. So many condolences, between Instagram, Ravelry, text messages, email. I mean, really, the response, everyone's sympathy has been so appreciated, and just thank you. Because I know you know, everyone's lost somebody important to them, and it sucks, right? It just plain sucks. So, anyways, I'm Jenna. I don't even know that I've said that at the beginning of this episode. Also known as RetroLemon. I am RetroLemon on Ravelry, Plurk, Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram. Weight Watchers and Fitbit, if you're into that kind of thing. Like I said, thank you all so much for getting through this with me this week. So, till next week, I'll see you then. Bye.